In this edition of reShape 333, I want to give to you a simple one-page 90-day personal organizational tool that I've created and used for the past 20 years, and I've shared this tool with countless numbers of leaders over the past couple of decades. The next 90-day planning tool has kept my priorities in one simple place, and it's an effective tool to use with teams as well. It keeps all of my priorities organized and helps me to know what I need to be focusing on each and every day. I want to give you the tool and I want to explain it to you in the next 333 seconds. So let's get at it. I don't know what you use to keep yourself organized and to keep your main priorities in front of you every week. Some of you, I'm sure, have very well-developed systems. You have color-coded spreadsheets that work for you. And others of you use notepads and sticky notes to write down your daily agenda. And still others of you get up every morning and you say, well, wonder what I should do today. I do know this. Without some kind of a personal planning system, however complex or however simple, your effectiveness will be limited and what you achieve will be impacted. John Maxwell said that the secret to your success is determined by your daily agenda. That is, if I don't know what I'm trying to accomplish, I'm going to hit it every time. I developed a planning tool about 20 years ago that I simply call my next 90 days. It's based on a principle called the rule of three. The rule of three suggests that people think best and they remember things far more easily if things are grouped into threes. That's why preachers would be encouraged to use the 3 points in a poem system for their preaching. My next 90 days tool is based on the next 3 months. It has 3 parts of the process, and it will help you establish 3 problems, 3 goals, and 3 opportunities to address in the next 90 days. It's very simple to create 4 times a year, and it's one page, so it's easy to keep with you or to tape on the corner of your desk. It's a great tool, especially for those of you who've tried system after system after system, only to stop after a week or two because the system was simply too complex to be sustainable long term. My next 90 days is clear enough to be effective and simple enough to be sustainable. You can use it personally, and it's also a great tool to use with your team. Our staff used to have next 90-day breakfasts where we would come together for a morning, and each staff member would get an opportunity to share their next 90-day priorities, and then we would get a chance to speak into each other's world. So just let me break down the next 90 days planner for you. In the top right-hand corner, you'll begin to consider your full engagement goals for the next 90 days. This is all about developing habits to be a resilient leader. You're going to spend a bit of time reflecting on 4 areas of your life: spiritually, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And in the boxes, you'll identify 1 or 2 things that you'll do in the next 90 days in each of those critical areas. Essentially, you're answering the question, how do I recharge my life and fill my tank for the next 90-day run? Spiritually, it could be committing to a personal retreat or drilling down deeper into your prayer life. Physically, it might mean committing to exercise 3 times a week. You might commit to reading 2 books and being more disciplined in taking a Sabbath. You'll identify 1 or 2 commitments in each of those areas that will serve to recharge you and create greater resilience as a leader. The top left of the next 90 tool broadens your focus. You can change these focus areas to fit your own personal priorities. For me, it was important to focus on most often the categories that are listed there. I would ask, in the next 90 days, what 3 things can I do to strengthen my marriage and express love to my wife? Some of you don't need to write that down. For me, it was helpful. For me, it needed to be intentional. In the next 90 days, what things must I do to intentionally invest in the lives of my kids? How can I be a better dad? Carve out time for their lives. In the next 90 days, what projects around our home need to be addressed? What areas of service can I invest in? How can I serve the community specifically or the region more broadly? And then the bottom half of the next 90-day tool identifies up to 9 strategic projects that I plan to invest in over the next 3 months. You will identify 3 problems to solve, 3 goals to achieve, and 3 opportunities to consider. For each of those, I identify if it's a PGO, a problem and a goal, or an opportunity, who needs to be involved for me to achieve it, what resources are necessary, and then some action steps, a timeline for completion, and the status of whether or not it was achieved. It's that simple. It's easy and effective and intentionally keeps your most important priorities in front of you at all times. And it's a great tool and a great excuse for you to bring some leaders together, to bring your team together, to share your next 90 days with your team. If you're interested in trying the next 90-day tool, you can go to the description below. My email is there. Click on the email, fire me off a request, and I'll send you the next 90-day tool for you to try out. And hey, if you'd subscribe to this channel, I would appreciate that. Maybe hit the little notification bell in the description below. If this is helpful to you, maybe it will be helpful to someone else. So I'd appreciate it if you would share it and keep these videos active in the YouTube feed. Thanks for leading, everyone. Thanks for leading.